Welcome to FedScoop TV and our special series on digital transformation heroes. I'm Wyatt Cash, and we're here today with Avi Bender, the Director for the National Technical Information Service at the Department of Commerce. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Wyatt. Good to be here.
It's great. I'd like to talk first. Federal IT managers recognize that digital transformation really depends in part on modernizing their IT and their legacy systems. So can you point to some examples of where your agency, or maybe more broadly at the Department of Commerce, that you've seen concrete steps being made towards modernizing IT?
Sure. I mean, for NTIS, modernization is really core to our mission. We have a joint venture authority to work with the private sector to deliver data-specific services to federal agencies. And we're doing that, again, with the private sector, specifically agencies that we're supporting today, for example, include DHS, the FDA, HHS. We're delivering specific services to help them across the value chain, to help them with their abilities to access information, collect that information, analyze it, evaluate it, to really support mission-critical priorities. And this is along very much thematic lines that include fraud detection, improved customer service. So we've been gaining quite a bit of traction in that area, and so supporting not just NTIS modernization initiatives, but also other federal agencies. I would also like to mention something about, you mentioned IT modernization and digital transformation. The two are not always very synonymous. We don't want to do IT modernization at the margins. We really want to drive digital transformation and to leverage data to make that happen, to fundamentally change business models within federal agencies.
That's a great point. I appreciate your kind of distinguishing that. Next, we're talking a lot lately about cloud services, things like containerization and agile development to help get us towards more digital transformation opportunities. Can you talk about how you see some of those things making new things possible for government agencies over the next 18 months?
I think cloud services and everything that you've mentioned is absolutely critical for the simple reason that it's how we have instantiated design thinking into operationalizing the NTIS joint venture proposition with the private sector. Specifically, agencies need capacity to scale, right? And once they have that capacity through cloud services, they can then deploy agile development, use of data analytics services, and this is something that we do for them. So cloud services are critical, I think, to the success of organizations. And they do another thing. They allow these agencies to do something which is, I wouldn't say unique, but it's important, to actually focus on their mission, right? And to be able to have that conversation about how can we leverage this wonderful new technology to change basic operating models of how we serve our citizens and our customers. So cloud services really plays a very important role here.
I'd like to talk next about workforce issues. We know that digital transformation depends not only on the technology, but also on workforce skills. And so what needs to happen to ensure that agencies have the right skills, the right talent within their IT organizations, and maybe even more broadly?
I think we've been talking about this subject for quite a long time. I would say, to look at it simply, form follows function. So if you buy into this digital transformation and the changes that are happening within the government, then form will follow, meaning new operating models can be created to support agency missions. And once you have these operating models well understood, then you really need to look and do a skill gap analysis to see the type of skills that are required. Federal agencies, frankly, will never be able to hire as many data scientists and IT professionals as they wish to really meet their requirements. That's where, I think an organization like NTIS has come in, specifically on the data space, because what we offer is capacity to scale. We have access to 30 of the world's best private sector organizations with some of the most incredible data science skills, resources in predictive analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence. It's very difficult to hire that kind of talent. So through a new operating model, it's possible to really bring to bear those skills to those agencies that have the requirements.
Well, it sounds exciting that you're at a government agency that's able to give that extra capability to agencies that couldn't get it on their own.
Right, and that's really part of our core business model.
Yeah. Well, lastly, how is your agency planning ahead for the continuing surge in data, as you mentioned earlier, and really trying to put more data analytic tools in the hands of employees?
Right. So now you're really speaking to the sweet spot of what NTIS has to offer, because we have been set up through this joint venture authority to do exactly that. As I mentioned before, this requirement of capacity to scale. So we work with these various partners so we can bring to bear the right capabilities, the resources, the tools, the open source tools in a number of different areas to help federal agencies. But what's more important here is not just the actual tools themselves, but the value proposition is really the upfront planning. I think part of what NTIS is working on through this design thinking is to engage the private sector that has a lot of this talent to better help agencies plan their projects upfront, much earlier, not after the fact, right? So that's really a key value proposition that we provide. It is fundamental to our business model. And from what we're seeing in the marketplace, that message is resonating. And we're really helping organizations transform business operations through cloud computing, agile development, and some world-class data analytics services.
Well, Avi, thank you for stopping by, sharing some of your insights, and also leading the charge to some innovative approaches to support digital transformation.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking.
Terrific. You can find more of our coverage at fedscoop.com. I'm Wyatt Cash. Thanks for watching.